What's going on, world? It's your boy Gemini Brown here, back with another episode of Knowledge Kicking Knowledge. Today we'll be discussing the benefits of celibacy, semen retention, and NOFAP has on our chakra system. So let's get into it. I'm really pleased to see the feedback, from our last video talking about, these topics, and a lot was said. A lot of you were having, just correspondences with your inner self, like saying like, man, I think like this is what needs to be done, and not really wanting to say anything. And it's completely, like understandable. I always say, don't talk about it, just be about it. It's kind of like when a person is on social media and they're like, they make a post and say, I'm gonna delete social media. Dogs, just delete it. You know what I mean? But this topic regarding like sexual energy and stuff is truly, powerful, important, and does need to be talked about. So today I want to, just expand upon that message and, show its correlation, how it correlates to our chakra system. Okay, so we're talking about the conserving of our sexual energy, and I told you before to look at it like kind of like as a gas tank, right? And many of us, we know about like Kundalini energy, and that the Kundalini rises up the spine and things like that. And Kundalini is, connected to that main source of sexual and creative energy, right? And as the Kundalini is rising, it's going through each chakra. Okay, so in order for this process to occur, all chakras have to be operating open and balanced and things of that nature. So the real power behind this and how embarking upon these things affects the chakra is because, one, it is literally conserving that energy, right? If your energy is gonna go, or your gas tank is gonna go on a cross-country journey, from the root to the crown, it's gonna need all the juice that it can. Okay, and it's not to say the sense of, the more I refrain from, sex, the quicker this is gonna happen. It's not about the quickness, it's about the journey within itself, and it's about having enough power to get this process going, right? So the way the chakras work is very, very subtle. Like, different things affect them, and throw off their balance and things like that. So when we start at the root is, I like to, look at it like as our primary instincts. Those, like I said in the last video, like animalistic desires or, tendencies. And that is, to survive, to procreate, to feel safe and secure. So what happens is people who, fap a lot and, are very much so tied to the material plane are stuck within their root chakra. Okay, they feel like they never have enough of anything, enough sex, enough food, enough material items. Okay, so you start there. You start there with just eliminating that desire, and that creates the foundation for everything to rise, because you feel like I have enough, like I'm able to embark on this journey. Okay, and that's important within itself. So you start using your energy towards other things, in the sense of security and its balance. It's like, okay, you just overall have a better grasp on different areas of life. There isn't an overemphasis on anything. You are secure, and that's an affirmation you can use for that chakra as well. So then we go up, we rise up to the sacral, which is like the sexual instinct, right? The procreation point, or the creative energy itself. Okay, and look how it's connected towards the root. Okay, so once we have that, then when we're balanced here and we're abstaining from these things, we're overall more creative. That's why people, you know, who practice, you know, celibacy, semen retention, and all of that are much more creative. Okay, and when you're more creative, you're more childlike, you're more innocent, right? You more have a pure interaction with life, or a pure curiosity towards things. You're interacting with the environment in a secure place. Okay, so the root, we're safe and secure, we're, you know, creative, curious, and outgoing, and that leads us up to the solar plexus, which I really like to consider like the bridge. Okay, it's really the bridge to everything, and most importantly, it's like our willpower. Okay, so once we get here, and it's like, oh, it's like in the middle, right, where we're above the lower two chakras, which is really more instinct based, right, more, you know, primordial and things like that, and we're more in the sense of where we can now direct the will. We could say like, okay, I want to go down and create and provide myself with these things, or I want to keep, you know, pushing up. You are somewhat like mastering it. And if we're using the example of like a car, this is, you know, it's that stage where like, all right, I got a good handle on the whip. Like, I'm not obsessed with like going too fast, or, you know, I'm not scared of getting in an accident. I'm cruising and I know where I'm going, right? Then we get into the heart chakra, and this I can do a video on this within itself, you know, but, you know, people with a healthy sexuality in general, okay, and this is one of the bigger effects from celibacy, semen retention, and specifically not watching porn. You are more heart-centered. You are in your heart chakra. You have a greater appreciation for the opposite sex, okay? You're more able to relate emotionally, right? So, you know, when you think of this chakra and you think of this topic, think about, you know, a dude or a female who they just want the person to fulfill their need. You know, like they don't care about the person emotionally. They don't care about them as, you know, like a person, okay? And when you abstain from those things, you become more heart-centered, and you're able to build relationships and a relationship towards your sexuality where you're basing it off those things, okay? And that's another way to know when your heart chakra is well balanced, you know, and your sexuality too, is that you have certain standards or requirements that need to be met before you want to connect with someone in that way. And before and below that, you know, with the sacral's more intellectual, right? So some people are like, yo, I need to have a mental connection with you, right? And then the sacral, or below that, below the solar plexus, is more creative. So that's where like the attraction, you know, comes in, or the passion, right? And then at the root, you know, that's just like, does this person make me feel secure? Okay, so all of these are how the chakras are tying into our sexuality and how we relate towards others. So like I said, you can get and stay within that heart center space, you will overall have better relationships with people in general, not to mention better romantic or sexual partnerships. Okay, so then we get up to the throat chakra, and the more I interact with others and the more I'm able to see the issues in relationships, it's communication, especially particularly sexuality, communicating what satisfies us sexually, you know. So if this is balanced, right, and you have a healthy understanding that your standards are set, when you meet someone you want to connect with sexually, you have no problem saying to them, this is what gets me off, this is what I prefer in the bedroom, you know. So very, very important. The throat chakra is very important in general to, you know, relationships, but particularly if you're going to lay down with somebody, you should be able to you know, express to them how you want to be pleased, okay? And then we keep it going, you know, we keep it going up to the third eye, and eventually we're gonna hit the crown. Or just, this is the real psychic awareness. This is the thing where spiritually we're merging, you know, we're merging with the other. Or, you know, while abstaining, we're becoming more spiritually sound within ourselves because we are not distracted, okay? Just imagine like this, you know, someone who other chakras are blocked. When it comes down to, like, you know, sexuality, they're basing it off of how the person looks. Am I physically attracted to them? And we all know internally, you know, they can have demons and things like that. But when you're, you know, spiritually sound, right, and that third eye is open, that crown is open, you have awareness, you're going off of vibes. You know, like, okay, I may be attracted to you in my base chakras, but up here, nah, there's something off, you know. So, you know, going through this process allows you to have better judgment with choosing a partner, okay? It allows for greater, you know, psychic awareness and clarity, okay? So how I broke it down to you is basically like, when you undergo this process, you're clearing up every chakra. It is a process of, you know, not only self-understanding, but understanding others and knowing what type of person you need to attract or should attract. Overall, helping you intuitively attract your partner, which leads to, you know, greater fulfillment when you get there. All right? So always keep in mind, when you are imbalanced in any of these areas, there is going to be an overemphasis of that particular quality. You know, if the solar plexus is, you know, overactive, you're going to be a little too controlling or too willful. But when everything is balanced, you just flow and you're able to really attract the situations that are meant for you. All right? So, y'all, this is my episode for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Feel free to give me some feedback. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, feel free to do so. If you have any, like, requests or things that you feel me I should also speak about, let me know. Until next time, peace.